Shabalala! Goal for Shabalala!
What's going on? It's your boy Shaba here with the Marvel Rival patch notes. They just dropped today, Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. And I thought we'd go ahead and get into them together. So we're not going to delay. We're just going to get right into it. Now, let's check out what's going on with the Vanguard. Captain America kind of got a buff. Basically, he got a little bit of a buff when you look at everything that's taken place with him. Reduce the delay time for shield restoration after releasing Living Legend from 3 to 2. So that's going to help his shield to regenerate quicker after releasing Living Legend. That's a buff. Reduce Liberty Rush cooldown from 12 to 10. That's a buff. Increase base health went up from 650 to 675. That's a buff. Reduce the energy cost for releasing Freedom Charge from 3,400 to 3,100. Reduce the additional health provided per second to self after releasing it from 110 to 100. So the only nerf he got was something that was very minimal, while everything else was just going to make him feel a little bit more funner. You're going to be able to access his kit and the things that make him tanky, that make him Captain America and Marvel Rivals a different type of Vanguard. You're going to be able to do those things a little bit more often. So I would say that he'll be funner. And the developer note says Steve will receive some enhanced survivability, allowing for frequent entering and exiting of the combat. This is very good. And, you know, I think right now Captain America is already in a pretty good state. He's pretty tanky, but this will just make sure that he's 100% respected as a Vanguard, as opposed to sometimes him just kind of being a squishy DPS. If they're not able to manage their cooldowns, you can definitely blast the Captain America and get him out of here. Doctor Strange will be reducing the threat range and increasing the defense window of the Sorcerer Supreme. Add damage fall off to Maelstrom of Madness and Gamma Maelstrom, starting at 5 meters and reducing to 70% at 8 meters. Slightly decrease the shield value recovery rate after releasing Shield of the Seraphim from 80 to 70 seconds. So, or half second. So, I don't think that's huge. I definitely feel like Doctor Strange should have gotten a buff. Like when I'm looking at add damage fall off, it's like, bro, like I don't even necessarily think that needed to happen. I mean, Doctor Strange isn't necessarily the strongest to begin with, so. You know, Maelstrom of Madness was kind of one of those things in which kind of gave him a higher ability to frag out. Reducing the threat range and increasing the defensive window of the Sorcerer Supreme is what the developer notes say. And then they're adding damage fall off to Maelstrom of Madness and Gamma Maelstrom. And so, I mean, I don't really often get to use Gamma Maelstrom, but, you know, hey, at the end of the day, they're saying they're going to add damage fall off to it, starting at 5 meters and reducing to 70% at 8. That's not too huge. I would just say what I'm always saying when you play Doctor Strange, don't use Gamma Maelstrom if you're not going, or the regular Maelstrom, right? Maelstrom of Madness. Don't utilize that technique unless you're already strategizing to come in and combine it with Eye of Agamotto, because that's going to be the best use you could get for it. To go in via a portal or what have you, or just walk onto the point in a brawling scenario and then utilize Eye of Agamotto, and then you can then utilize Maelstrom of Madness. So you shouldn't really be affected by this too much, but, you know, we'll see. Thor. The God of Thunder could use some slightly increased survivability and improve the success rate to his ultimate ability. Increase base health from 500 to 525. It's not huge, but it'll help him because of the fact that he have Thor Force. So every little bit helps, like I always say. Added immunity to control effects during God of Thunder. Okay. Ultimate ability. So added immunity to control effects. So I'm guessing that while you are in the air piloting your God of Thunder ult, you're going to be able to be immune. But we'll see how that actually looks. But I'm guessing that that's what it is, just based off them saying we added immunity, and they're trying to have him get a little bit more survivability. So we'll add immunity to the ultimate because you can pop him whilst he's in the air, moving around. And then the increase to his base health is something that's small, but will help in those situations where you may have died before. You'll probably survive a little bit more now with Thor. Hulk. Dr. Banner has been dominant, but some decreased sustained combat capability upon entering the battlefield will bring him more in line with the other vanguards. Reduce the indestructible guard gamma shield value for Hulk from 250 to 200. So his shield's not going to be able to be as formidable as it was. We'll have to see how much that really affects the feel of playing Hulk. But for now, I don't think that this is a problem for us. Like, this is just something that's going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to utilize it. I like to use that technique. I like to utilize the guard gamma, the indestructible gamma shield when I'm with my teammates, try and give them a little bit of a cushion whilst they're in their 1v1s, or if we're brawling together on the front line. I like to do it like that. And then I'll also utilize it when I'm on my dives, because you can't utilize Hulk as a diving vanguard. So this is okay. Venom. With increased survivability and the threat of his ultimate ability, the symbiote menace will strike fear into the backlines of all enemy teams. I don't think bro needed a buff at all. You know, let me know in the comments if you feel like Venom didn't need a buff. Increase the symbiotic range or resilience bonus health ratio gained per lost health point from 1 to 12. From 1 to 1.2, excuse me, not 12. So increase the symbiotic resilience bonus health ratio gained per lost health point from 1 to 1.2. Increase the base damage of Feast of the Abyss from 40 to 50. So, you know, just watch out for Venom, because he's gonna be that much more annoying. Let's go. We got Duelist. Okay. Black Panther. We're slightly decreasing T'Challa's combat survivability. Reduce the additional health provided to self after refreshing vibranium marks with Spirit Ren from 40 to 30, and the upper limit of additional health provided from 120 to 75. That's a significant nerf. Like, that's not a, 120 to 115. This is 120 to 75. I'm sorry, T'Challa mains. I'm sorry. Black Widow. Natasha was very much in need of optimization when evaluating the release experience of her abilities, as well as slightly increase to the threat of her ultimate. Okay, a slight increase to the threat of her ultimate ability. They had a typo here. Increase the range of the first effective edge dancer from a 3-meter radius to a 5-meter radius. That's healthy. Just help her to be able to utilize it a little bit better for what it is. Reduce the time required for Fleet Foot to recover from 0 stamina to full from 12 seconds to 4 seconds. That's okay. That's cool. I don't really see a lot of Widows, so maybe this is something that'll help more people to play her and feel a little bit better about what goes on when they're in that experience. Reduce the time required for Electroplasma Explosion, the ultimate, to reach maximum power from 1 second to 0.6 seconds. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you don't have to really wait too much longer to be able to get to that place in which you're going to be deadly. We're okay with this. It's not terrible for her. She got some good changes. Hawkeye. You guys know about Hawkeye in your games, right? I hope you go get him and don't let him just win games for the enemy team, because he's just back there doing whatever he wants. We'll be decreasing the medium long range damage capability, reducing the threatening combat radius, and slightly improving the close combat resistance for the Avenging Archer. Slightly reduce the spread angle between every 2 blast arrows. Reduce the triggering distance of passive ability Archer's Focus from 60 meters to 40 meters. Reduce the maximum additional damage of the passive from 80 to 70. So you're no longer going to be able to utilize that Archer's Focus just indefinitely. You're going to have to be within a certain range. And then in addition to that, they reduce the maximum additional damage of the passive from 80 to 70. So the range in which you can use it and the effectiveness via the damage has been mitigated. Hawkeye nerf. Hela, the Goddess of Death, has been a menace and will slightly decreasing her combat strength. Reduce base health from 275 to 250. Great, get her out of here. We hate her. Magic. The Queen of Limbo needed an increase to her threat after unleashing her ultimate ability. Increase Umbral incursion damage in Dark Child form from 115 to 135. That's going to hurt. Magic Mains rejoice. Have fun in the back line. Moon Knight. The Hand of Khonshu will receive a slight increase to the threat of his ultimate ability. Increase the number of talents generated by Hand of Khonshu ultimate ability from 10 to 14. Increase the expulsion radius of each talent from 4 meters to 5 meters. So, the Hand of Khonshu will receive a slight increase to the threat of his ultimate ability. Increase the number of talents generated by Hand of Khonshu. Increase the explosion radius. So, I could be a bot, but the terminology talents in reference to him is just escaping me. So I need to go in really quickly and just check something out here. Let me see. Hand of Khonshu. Open a portal that allows Khonshu to bombard enemies with his talons. Okay, why didn't they say the projectiles of the ultimate? So for those of you that were just lost like I was, talons are the hands, the bird hands, the talon, because I believe he's some type of Egyptian bird. So the bird talons is what they're talking about. My God, Marvel Rivals. Anyway, now we can understand what's going on. Increase the number of talons generated from 10 to 14. So his ultimate has become more deadly, and increase the explosion radius of each talent from 4 to 5. So not only will there be more of them, but when they hit the ground, their AoE effect will be greater. Moon Knight, mains rejoice, your talons are better. Namor. We're optimizing the throwing feel of Namor's eggs. Adjust the throwing feel of Monstro Spawn and Frozen Spawn now. Namor can more accurately throw them to the desired location. Perhaps that will come with an increased range ability. Psylocke. We'll be providing more options for other heroes to counter the Demon Slayer's ultimate. Now, Dance Up Butterfly will check for barriers, Magneto's Metal Bullrock, Hulk's Indestructible Guard, etc. Okay. The Punisher. We're slightly increasing the damage capability of Frank's weapon. Slightly reduce the spread of deliverance and slightly reduce the spread of deliverance and adjudication. Okay, so they're going to make it to where his shotgun and his rifle, the bullet spread is tighter, meaning you'll be a little bit more accurate, meaning you'll do a little bit more damage. I like that, instead of just giving him a damage buff across the board. Scarlet Witch, we're increasing Wanda's combat strength when she's facing duelists or strategists. Increase Chaos Control's fixed damage from 50 to 60. Reduce the percentage damage per second from 5% to 3%. Increase Chthonian burst projectile damage from 30 to 35. Scarlet Witch just became more annoying. I'm out. Storm. The Weather Witch needed an overall increase to her damage capability. We're also optimizing the feel of her left click projectile and the release experience of her ultimate ability. Increase Windblade projectile speed from 100 milliseconds to 150 milliseconds and left click damage from 50 to 55. Increase Bolt Rush damage from 70 to 80. And after releasing Omega Hurricane, the ultimate, the bonus health provided to herself will be increased from 350 to 450. Moreover, following its conclusion, the extra health will no longer vanish instantly, but will instead diminish at a rate of 100 per second. Okay, so they see this Storm isn't really getting played like that, and they want to give her some major love. I'm with it. Squirrel Girl. We're increasing the threat of Doreen and her furry friends and their ultimate ability. Addition of the new effect to the unbeatable Squirrel Tsunami. The squirrel will rush towards the nearest enemy after bouncing instead of bouncing randomly. Reduce the Squirrel Tsunami health from 600 to 300. Oh. I would have liked if it would have just that remained as it was and they changed the way that they interact with enemies in the environment, but this was a little bit much because it's not that difficult to tell your team to focus and shoot the Stampede in moments where the Stampede is detrimental, like when it's on its way to the back line. So yeah, I think that's a bit overkill. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the Squirrel Girl change. Winter Soldier will be adjusting Bucky by decreasing his long-range combat strength and increasing his survivability in medium close-range combat. Increase the bonus health provided by Bionic Hook from 30 to 40, so they're encouraging you to utilize Bionic Hook a little bit more. Increase Rotor Stern's projectile damage from 70 to 75. They would like for you to use that a little bit more. Reduce the area damage from 70 to 65 and reduce damage decay from 65% at 40 meters to 60. Increase base health from 25 to 275. So the Winter Soldier got a buff across the board. More health, more damage. Bucky mains, rejoice. Wolverine, Logan will receive an increase to the basic combat strength, but a slight decrease to the additional survivability after activating Undying Animal. Base health from 300 to 350. Reduce the damage reduction ratio provided by Undying Animal from 50 to 40. So this will, it's almost like it's going like this, you know, the 300 to 350 is going up, and then, you know, the 50% to 40% is going down. So I'm going to say this is the epitome of a balance change for Wolverine. It's not that huge of a buff, even though when people were hearing that there was going to be some changes for him, they were worried it was going to be a big buff. This is okay. I wouldn't fret. Now, let's try and do strategies. Cloak and Dagger. Ty and Tandy will receive an increase to their healing capability as well as an expansion to the coverage area of their ultimate ability. Reduce Dagger Storm cooldown from 15 to 12 seconds. Increase the number of dashes in Eternal Bond from 3 to 4. That's cool because they're already covering, most Cloak and Dagger mains can utilize the ultimate to cover the entirety of the point. So maybe the fourth one is just for them to be a little bit safer and get away. Like you do what you do and then you get back to your team with that fourth one. So shout out to y'all for that. Jeff Dishak will be adjusting the range for his ultimate ability so it now better fits with Warning Marker. In addition, we'll also be increasing his healing capability. It's Jeff range from 10 meter sphere to a 10 meter radius, 5 meter high cylindrical spell field. Oh my god, forgive me. Increase the healing of Joyful Splash from 140 to 150. So he got a healing buff, and it seems like now the range of his ultimate ability has been decreased. Range from a sphere to a 10. Adjust its Jeff range from a 10 meter sphere to a 10 meter radius, 5 meter high cylindrical spell field. Hey, you know what? We'll see it when it gets in the game. Forgive me if my breakdown or even handling of this particular change was annoying. It just shot my brain out. Luna Snow. While we've enjoyed her dropping the base, we've made adjustments to Luna's ultimate ability to prevent players from abusing its healing capabilities because it is so strong and negates a lot. Increase the interval for switching between healing and damage and fate of both worlds from 0.1 to 0.5. So you guys won't be able to just go crazy on the dance floor. Mantis. We'll be making Mantis a bit less fleet-footed, reducing her roaming support capability. Reduce Nature's Favor, the passive movement boost from 2.5 to 1.5. That's going to be significant, and she won't be as speedy, but she'll still have a little bit of kick to her mobility so that you can maybe escape certain situations. Other supports without that type of, grace from the developers would be able to. Rocket. Rocket could use an enhancement to his healing capability. So from 60 to 70. Increase the healing of repair mode from 60 to 70 per second. That's fine because he's very underwhelming. I don't really see too many Rocket players, and when I do, I don't think that they're like the reason why we won often. Yeah, so this is great. It's a good change. We love it. Team up abilities. Hawkeye, Black Widow. To further tone down Hawkeye's oppression, we'll be reducing his seasonal buff. Reduce Hawkeye's season bonus from 20% to 15%. Hela, Thor, and Loki. Much like Hawkeye, Hela's overwhelming power will receive a slight reduction. Reduce Hela's season buff bonus from 20 to 15%. Luna Snow, Namor will be increasing the threat of Namor's Frozen Spawn. Increase Frozen Spawn damage from 25 to 27. Increase Frozen Spawn slowing effect applied to hit enemy from 25 to 30%. Wow, so this is great for Namor and Luna duos. If you have a Luna that you play with, or you have a Namor that you play with and you're a Luna, this is for you guys. Increased Berserk Skate Frozen Spawn damage from 16 to 18. This is all good. Rocket Raccoon, the Punisher, and Winter Soldier. One of the Rocket's best tools will be available more often. Reduce the cooldown of ammo invention from 45 seconds to 40 seconds. Not huge, but it'll help a little bit. Scarlet Witch, Magneto, a bit underwhelming. The damage capability of this father-daughter team-up will be enhanced. Increased metallic fusion projectile damage from 55 to 60, and increased metallic fusion spell field damage from 30 to 35. It's going to make a difference. You're going to feel it. It's going to make the difference in those situations where you have a little bit of health and you're trying to get away, and then you get hit with something like this. Before you would have lived, now you won't. Be careful. Thor Storm, Captain America, will be enhancing the damage capability of Storm's side of this team-up ability. Reduce the cooldown of Charge Gale from 20 to 15 seconds and increase the damage of Charge Gale from 50 to 55. This is great. Clearly they love Storm and they're trying to help her because people don't play her like that. I literally never see Storm, and when I do, I don't care because they're not good, because what practice do they have with the character? You know what I'm saying? But look, I'm going to have some water and hydrate. Make sure you drink your water, gamers. We're going to continue to do this. Go over these patch notes, these balance updates right here on Shaba Gaming. Until next time, you guys go out there, enjoy the game until this update comes. Okay, January 10th is right around the corner. Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman are right around the corner. Go out there and play some Rivals.